Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about a method that I usually use when I take care of my orchids in growing season. It is growing season in Vietnam, my country. It's summer, and actually it's not the perfect time for the orchids to grow because it's really hot. It's really hot, and the orchids will grow really fast when the temperature is around 20 degrees Celsius. It's about 17 to 25 degree Celsius, but it's kind of really hot outside, so I have to provide my orchids with so many types of nutrients so that they can suffer the hot weather outside. I grow my orchids outside in my balcony, and yeah, I have a roof above them, so they don't have to suffer from rain, but the weather is really hot, so it still have to suffer from hot weather, so they need to have enough nutrients to survive. So today I'm going to share with you guys the method that I usually use to take care of them, and you can see that look at this new leaf. When you see this part of the leaf, it means that it's really young. Look at the young part here, it means that it is growing really well. So how can it grow in this hot weather? I'm going to show you in this video. So the main ingredient today is mung bean sprout. Mung bean sprout is very good for people, and it is also good for orchids because it contains a lot of types of nutrients. And the first thing that I want to talk about is protein inside the bean. This can help the orchids grow leaves, roots, and stems as well. In growing season, you should provide your orchids with enough protein because it's time for the orchids to grow. The more pair of leaves that they can grow, the more spikes that they will have in blooming season. That's why I have to give all of my orchids enough protein in this season, and I hope that it will have a lot of leaves. So you can see here, this is the young part of these leaves. It means that this leaf is growing really well, and it is very hot outside. So when you see that it can grow really good like this, it means that this method works. So just give it a try and you will see the same results. And the second thing that I want to talk about this is that there is a hormone inside the mung bean sprout named auxin, and this is the perfect hormone for the plant to grow roots. And even though this is growing season and you just want your orchids to grow leaves and stem, you just want to have a big stem with big leaves, so many leaves, but the roots are very important too because the roots are the mouth of the orchids. When you try to give your orchids the nutrients that can help it grow more and more roots, the orchids will become strong, and it will grow very big in the future, and you will have a big spot of orchid with so many spikes. That's why I always take care of your orchids and hope that it will have so many roots, leaves. Okay. So how to make fertilizer from mung bean sprout? I will show you several methods. So the first method is that you will use mung bean sprout and vinegar. You can use any type of vinegar in your kitchen. everything works. Even the vinegar that expired, it had expired dates. You cannot eat that vinegar, but it is still suitable for the orchids to grow. And you know, there are so many types of nutrients inside the mung bean sprout, but the orchids don't have teeth, so it cannot chew the mung bean and absorb the nutrients inside this. So we have to break these nutrients into a form that the orchids can eat. So I'm going to put it in the vinegar bottle, just like this. It is about 200 ml of vinegar. And because you are combining the mung bean sprout with vinegar, you can take the benefits from vinegar too. It's very good for the orchids. Okay, so I will add just about 20 grams of mung beans. It is enough because mung bean contains a lot of nutrients, and you don't have to use much of it. And just like this, I will close the lid and I will wait for about 2 days. Okay, after 2 days, I will use this to take care of the orchids. After 2 days, part of the nutrients will dilute into the liquid, and I will use the liquid only. I don't use the mung bean sprouts right here. I will add about 5 ml of this and mix with 100 ml of water. This way I can extract part of this mung bean sprout, and just part of the nutrients inside the mung bean sprout is just enough for the orchids to grow because it contains nutrients and auxin, the hormone that I talked about before. And now I'm going to pour to the roots like this. It is summer in Vietnam and it is really hot outside, so I don't use a sprayer to spray all over the plants because it can cause rot leaves. I will talk about rot leaf in the next videos, and I will tell you more specifically about this problem, okay? So just focus on the mung bean sprout fertilizer today, and this one only pour to the roots or pour to the grow media so that the roots can absorb all the nutrients inside the liquid. Okay, that's it. Very easy. I just use this is about 30 grams of mung bean sprouts. I will add it in a bottle of water. It is about 100 ml of water. Okay, 100 ml of water. I will put this mung bean sprout inside the water. Just like this. All the mung bean, the peel of the pea, and also the root of the mung bean sprout is very good for the orchids. Okay, so I will add about 10 grams of sugar. Only 10 grams is enough. If you have rice water, you can add about 15 ml of rice water here, so the fermentation process will become faster and you can use this sooner. So I will shut the lid and wait for about 90 days. And I have a bottle of mung bean sprout that I made about 1 year ago. And you can see here, this is the mung bean sprout. Okay, and this is the perfect liquid for the orchids to grow. I use this for my orchids twice a week, and it works really well. And please remember that if you can put your orchids in a place that is windy, so you can use sprayer to spray the fertilizer all over the orchids, all over the leaves, the stem, and you can see the miracle results after about 1 week. But if you're not sure about that, not sure that you cannot put your orchid in a windy place, you just can put it inside a house, and after using sprayer you can see that the water will stick to the orchids for a long time. So don't use sprayer, just use fertilizer for the roots or the medium, the grow media, just enough for the orchids to grow. So I always use fertilizer for the roots, not all over the plants. So it is just enough for the orchids to grow. Even when I do that, my orchids don't have perfect leaves like you can see in the store, but it's okay for me because I want to avoid rot leaves. So I will show you how to use this. I will use about 5 mils of this to mix with 100 mils of water, 100 mils of water, and 5 mils of mung bean sprout enzyme. You don't have to measure exactly, just estimate the amount that I need. Okay, that's enough. And yes, pour to the roof, pour to the roots. That's it, you're done. And you give it to your orchids just twice a week. It is very hot outside in daytime, but in nighttime it rains really hard and the temperature is just around 27 degrees Celsius, and it's such a real challenge for the orchids because the change of the temperature can cause so many problems with the orchids. But you can see here that my orchids grow really well. It has green leaves and green roots. So just give it a try, give the mung bean sprout a try, and you will have a perfect fertilizer for the orchids to grow. And please remember just to water the media, the grow media. Don't water on the leaves of the orchids because it can cause rot leaves easily. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.